She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA.
What Rebecca Lobo is about to say about Caitlyn Clark and the WNBA refs is absolutely eye-opening, and the WNBA brass can't ignore it anymore, because while we just witnessed the most incredible demonstration of the Caitlyn Clark effect in the wake of the WNBA's poor officiating in the Fever Sun game, that same officiating could also crush the WNBA entirely. And Rebecca, a WNBA legend, just sounded the alarm. This goes beyond a logical argument. She revealed what people are saying behind closed doors across the WNBA about the state of the officiating. The league won't like this, but all of it needed to be said, because if we've learned anything, it's that the WNBA has learned absolutely nothing when it comes to handling its golden goose Caitlyn Clark. Let's break down what Rebecca said, and also the developing story with the Fever that is great news in many ways, but at the same time makes the WNBA's.
The nerve, the second-year player clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laughing.
The nerve, the second-year players clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laughing. As I write this, Caitlyn Clark's triumphant return was just a few games ago. She dropped 25 points in the first half, including 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds of stretch. So electric. It didn't just remind fans what they were missing, it reminded the entire league who's actually driving the bust the audacity of those second-year players. Clearing out the floor, going one-on-one against Breanna Stewart, and then celebrating like they'd won a title was wild. Stewie's still laughing about it as I write this.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlyn Clark. 2 players with incredible up. Clark, another long 3. She's back.
This was a statement of statements, a game that made everything crystal clear. The WNBA doesn't just benefit from Caitlyn Clark, it relies on her. And those 5 games she missed, they weren't just a stumble. They were an exposure. Viewership dropped, social engagement tanked, national interest flatlined. And suddenly, every WNBA storyline without Caitlyn felt like background noise. This was a game that said it all. The statement of statements. It didn't just highlight Caitlyn Clark's value to the WNBA. It exposed the league's dependence on her. Those 5 games she missed weren't just a hiccup. They were a full-blown reality check. Viewership dipped, social media went quiet, and national buzz faded fast without Caitlyn.
But here we go with Caitlyn Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone, and ratings tanking, 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it with this absence and then the way she came back.
After weeks of crashing ratings and mounting pressure, Caitlyn Clark's return didn't just lift the Fever, it lifted the entire WNBA. Their game against the Liberty peaked at 8 million viewers, making it one of the most watched WNBA broadcasts ever. For context, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals averaged 5 million viewers. And sure, comparing hockey and basketball isn't a perfect Aplesto apples match, but Caitlyn Clark just outgrew a century-old men's sports league in its championship round. That's not normal. And while the significance of this seems to have been completely missed by WNBA leadership.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlyn drives ratings. We know how much Caitlyn drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA? Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention. Once again, we know how much a Caitlyn drives ratings. We know how much Caitlyn drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous. Well, it means a lot more eyes are back on the league. Plain and simple. We already know how much Caitlyn drives ratings and attention for the WNBA. But for her to return and make that kind of statement, it was unreal. She didn't just come back. She came back in a way that reminded everyone exactly why she's the face of this league.
I'm sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her.
Notice what Rebecca Lobo said. People are watching again is a subtle phrase, but it says everything, because if people are watching again, it means they stop watching. And we all know exactly when that happened when Caitlyn Clark was out. Lobo didn't stop there. She went on to explain exactly why viewers came flooding back the moment Clark returned. Notice what Rebecca Lobo said. People are watching again. It's a simple phrase, but it speaks volumes, because if they're watching again, that means they stopped watching. And we all know exactly when that drop-off happened, when Caitlyn Clark was out. But Lobo didn't stop there. She went on to break down exactly why fans came flooding back the second Clark stepped back on the court.
And so I think that the WNBA as a whole is in an amazing place. Now it's about business to me.
She's not asking players to go easy. She's just saying what any smart veteran would say. This is a business, Caitlyn, is good. For everyone's paycheck, protecting her isn't about favoritism. It's about protecting the investment, because whether some players like or not Caitlyn Clark is the one driving the surge. And if she goes down again, the ripple effect will hit everyone. She's not asking players to take it easy. She's saying what any savvy veteran understands. This is a business. Caitlyn Clark boosts everyone's paycheck. Protecting her isn't about favoritism. It's about safeguarding the league's biggest asset. Like it or not, she's the engine behind this surge in attention and revenue. And if she gets sidelined again, the fallout won't just affect her. It'll hit the entire league.
Kathy Engelbert praised the league star by saying, quote, "She's the most popular athlete in America." Not women's basketball player, not WNBA player, not NBA player, the most popular athlete in America.
Kathy's not wrong. Caitlyn Clark isn't just part of the WNBA's future. She is the future. And if the league can't figure out how to protect its most valuable asset from reckless fouls, inconsistent officiating, and yes, petty jealousy, then maybe it doesn't deserve what she brings. Because here's what happens when you support Caitlyn Clark. Viewership skyrockets, jerseys sell out, new fans pour in, and the entire ecosystem wins. Players, teams, sponsors, media, all of it. So yes, Rebecca Lobo said what had to be said. But the real question is anyone listening? Because the next time Caitlyn hits the floor, it might not just cost her a game. It could cost the WNBA everything. If you're still here, drop a basketball in the comments to let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.